Hello and welcome. You're listening to Skipping Through Theatre. This is a podcast where we celebrate the magic of performance, from the unforgettable musicals and the powerful plays to the TV shows we can't stop talking about, and the behind-the-scenes stories that bring it all to life. It's about the laughter, the drama, and the moments that stay with us long after the curtain falls. So settle in and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Skipping Through Theatre podcast, where we chat about all things musicals from backstage chaos to the best moments on stage.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Maddie.
Today we're chatting to someone who's been in some of the biggest West End shows, like Mamma Mia and Back to the Future.
And many, many more. Please welcome Amy Barker.
Hello, hi guys.
Hi, we're so excited to chat with you. You've done such an amazing mix of shows, so we've got loads to talk about.
Let's go back to the start. So what first inspired you to want to perform?
Well, I had a bit of a shoe fetish when I was little, when I was dancing. I started because I was a bit of a hyper child, and the doctor told my mum to send me to ballet lessons because it would help get rid of all of the energy that I had. And then when I saw that everybody had tap shoes, I had to start tap because I needed a pair of those shoes. And then when I saw everybody had jazz shoes, I needed a pair of those too. So I started when I was 2.5. And then by 4, I was doing everything.
Wow. How much did you enjoy it?
Oh, I loved it. It was basically a little joy of mine. I've always enjoyed it. I didn't necessarily think it was going to be a career choice of mine till a lot later in life. But yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So did you start off at a performing arts school?
No, I did it as a dance school from when I was little, on the side, outside of school.
Yeah.
And then at 16, I went to the New English Contemporary Ballet School, thinking I wanted to become a contemporary dancer. And then from there, went to Kate Simmons up north. And I kind of didn't really think I was going to go into musical theatre because I kind of saw myself as more of a dancer. But then I kind of worked on my singing and worked towards that because I thought it would be exciting to do that.
Were you always into musicals growing up, or did that come later on?
I'd say I was, to be fair. I had a couple of aunties who were obsessed with taking me to go and see Josephine's Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. So I've seen that show more times than I can count. So I've always been to theatre since I was tiny. And I've always loved it. And I had a recording, I think, of the Starlight Express actually on a cassette player that my auntie recorded from the radio, and I used to play that religiously in my bedroom and just sing to it.
That's so real though. Their songs are so catchy.
Yeah.
So you were in Starlight Express, I think, were you? In Germany?
Yeah.
It's
I
amazing.
did the 30th anniversary cast over there in Bochum.
Wow.
Amazing. So how did your journey into the West End begin? Was the process tedious?
Actually, no. I kind of didn't audition for my first West End show because I was in Back to the Future in the Manchester production back in just before the pandemic in 2020, and we opened, and then I think we had 4 days past opening, and then the pandemic hit, which was crazy. But then during the pandemic, in the late summer coming into autumn season, I ended up with an offer to be swing on the West End production in the new year, in the 2021 opening. So I was very lucky in that regard. So yeah, no, but it was nice because I've been part of that show since the workshop, so it felt like a bit of a family.
Yeah.
I love Back to the Future. I went to see it a few months ago, and I just love how the car flies at the end. It's amazing.
I've seen it as well. It's the experience, just everything. It's so immersive, and especially because it's not everything's just happening on stage. There's things coming out at you, and you're the whole time you're looking around everywhere, and it's an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Can you remember your first time performing on a West End stage? What was going through your head?
I don't actually know. I don't really know this time. And I think it's because I blanked it out because I'm a swing, so a lot of the time when I go on stage, it's especially the first time I go on for a track, I'm too busy thinking about what I need to do and where I need to be because you don't know what your first experience is going to be. And a lot of the time, if it's your first time on stage, in a show that's just opened, you don't know when that's going to be, and you don't know what track it's going to be. So it's kind of a bit of a look of the draw, really. So I think what I imagined that I was like, oh, this stage feels smaller than Manchester, was probably the only thing I remember thinking.
I can imagine like the stress though, because
God,
how many characters did you have to swing for?
So it's like 6 girl parts, and then when I was in the show, I actually completed all the boy tracks as well. So I'd gone on for split tracks of the boys. Yeah.
Go on.
So
That's
even partner work
impressive.
in the end of the sea dance, which is mad.
Wow.
Yeah, it must be like such a weird feeling, especially knowing that you're part of such a huge show like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk about Mamma Mia, because like I think I personally need to know about this. It's such a good show and catchy songs. What is it like performing music that audiences already love so much?
It was a very different experience to previous musicals, because you have so many people that just want to join in, and you get a lot of hen-dos or just like mums, and they're just having a great time, especially at the weekends. And it's just really joyful just watching them have a great time, and just people associate so much with the music, like it becomes something that they've grown up with, and they already, you know, care so much about the lyrics and personally their experiences that they've had through the song without the musical being involved. So it's just really beautiful seeing people just in the audience. You can see their faces just light up, and they're just singing along, having a great time.
That I would say that's like a time where you can really let free and let loose.
Oh, definitely. Especially at the end, the last 3 songs, people are like belting in their seats.
Definitely.
Everyone knows the songs as well, because they're just amazing songs.
Yeah.
So did you ever find yourself singing along in your head, even when you weren't on stage?
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Especially like Winner Takes It All, when you're in the wings waiting to come on to set your chairs for the wedding. Like, just Maz Murray is just such an icon. So yeah, you just like pretending that you're being her in the side belting.
Yes. What's your
top
favorite 3 ABBA songs to perform?
To perform, I'd probably say Lay All Your Love on Me, Waterloo, and I don't know what my last one would be.
They're all just good songs. Like you can't like
all of them, really.
Literally all of them,
Yeah. No, it's banger after banger, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Mamma Mia has such a happy summer vibe. Were there any moments during the show that always made you smile or laugh?
Oh, definitely. There's just so many parts in the show where a little bit of a cheeky moment's been added in, and especially if I was on for Sophie, there's a lot of the boys that would like monopolize on those moments to try and get me to crack on stage. Definitely. Yes.
That must have been difficult though, because the thing is, it's the people watching don't know what's happening, and obviously you're on stage trying not to crack. That must be.
I think it's nice in some regards though, because you can play with that, and it becomes more real, and it becomes more you on stage, and especially when you're nervous, and I don't get to do that role quite a lot, it kind of makes you relax a bit more and play with it a bit more and become more present in the moment, rather than like, oh, what's happening next?
Yeah,
it's also sorry, Nathan.
I think I told this story on the podcast before, but I was in Panto last year, and the guys playing the Dane, Gary, who's going to come on the podcast soon, I think, hopefully, which will be fun. He like set challenges for people to do, to like try and make, so they were laughing backstage. So one of me, I had to twerk on the stage when we were doing one of the scenes. So I was twerking, and then suddenly I just heard a massive laugh backstage, and it was just silent part in the show, and you could just hear laughing. It was hilarious.
I think,
oh gosh.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I also think it's such a team show, because the whole cast genuinely feels like a whole family. So how did you find the atmosphere was like backstage?
Mamma Mia was mad backstage, especially the boys. They would come up with a different game every night, I swear. They had Nerf guns. We had
fully grown men.
Fully grown men would be running around the theatre trying to shoot each other with Nerf guns.
Oh my gosh.
At least
but
they're
no,
enjoying themselves.
Yeah, no, there'd just be like silly moments. Like we had karaoke upstairs, like during some
Wow.
of the second acts, because you have quite a long time, like in the second act, where you're not really doing a lot. And one of the girls had like a portable karaoke microphone that would play songs and stuff. And then you'd have Ella, who would have her pan flute, and she'd be playing along. Like, yeah, it was crazy. It
Sounds
was
like you're living the
hilarious
dream.
though.
Literally.
It didn't feel like work. That's what you mean.
So, Back to
Cool.
the Future, it's such a wild and amazing production. And what's it like being part of something with so many effects and so much energy?
It's mad. It's really crazy because I'd never seen a show like that, and being a part of the magic of understanding what works and how, and the lighting that needs to be, there and present to be able to get things to work. It's so incredible. Like, we had incredible magic people on the show and SFX people, and the prep that they have to do each night is mad. Like, there's a massive turnaround between act 1 and act 2. Unlike any other show, they have to completely reset the set and everything like that, so kudos to them. But just seeing it all come together and it not take over the story, and it just adds to the overall experience, and just blowing people's mind of what's actually possible in theatre. I feel like when it opened, it actually set a new standard of like what we expect or what can
100%.
be done in theatre, especially with the car and other tricks. I don't want to ruin too many things if people haven't seen it. But yeah, no, I think it definitely set a whole new gold standard for theatre, and it's mad like what we can do now with effects, and especially with like the walls behind, like the screen walls behind.
Yes.
That's opened up a whole new like thing where people don't have to necessarily create and make the sets, and they can just have like the screens back behind as the screen, like to show where we are in a space rather than actually create the sets from scratch.
It's literally the show of the future, and I think they're doing it on a cruise ship now, aren't they? I saw. On the
Yes.
Really?
Amazing.
Yeah. On the Icon of the Seas.
Amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, they're in their first cast, and they're already recasting now, like for their second cast. I think they've just put offers out for their second cast now, which is mad.
Wow.
But yeah, no, it's like a 60-minute version of the show. So I've not seen it, but I bet you it's absolutely mad and just as incredible.
On a cruise ship must be like difficult though.
I think in some regards, but on the larger ships, and this we have they put the stabilizers on a bit higher for the crew, the shows at night. So unless it was a really rocky night at sea, and a lot of the times they would kind of like dumb down the show, you wouldn't even notice that you were on a cruise ship. You wouldn't be able to feel it. So the larger ships, it wouldn't matter. Yeah.
I've never been on a cruise before. They low-key scare me.
No, it's basically, but it's like being on a multi-story building that's just floating, just happens to be moving. So you wouldn't know.
Okay.
I've been on many cruises, and it's literally like a giant shopping centre.
I'm scared of getting like sickness. That's the thing.
Oh, I'm somebody who gets really badly seasick, but you just have to make sure that you have a full tummy.
Yeah.
And if you take seasickness tablets before it gets rocky, and there'll be a warning as well, like you'll be totally fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take that on board if I ever go on a cruise.
On board. Get it on board. Get it? It's quite funny.
Oh, literally. Nathan.
So there's a lot of dancing and big numbers. Do you find the rehearsal process quite full on?
Yes. So as a swing, especially, you don't necessarily get to rehearse like other people would. You're kind of at the back, and you just have to pick things up as you go. So that is challenging in itself, and you kind of keep your eyes on multiple people at the same time, especially if lots of things are getting changed last second. It doesn't necessarily always get passed on to you. So there's a lot happening. But a lot of the time, for Back to the Future, I already knew what was going on, and obviously there were changes and things, but because I was part of the original workshops, a lot of the changes like weren't too hard to incorporate. And I'd say the hardest rehearsal part is the tech in. So we had 4 weeks of tech rehearsals before we opened, because there was so much tech in the show, and it took a long time to light and rehearse that. We would be doing 10 till 10 days, sometimes overtime. So yeah, it's like it's a lot, and you're like coming to the theatre like just as it gets light in the winter or sometimes, and then leaving when it's
Wow.
dark. Like it's a lot. But you know, sometimes you get your food given to you if you go over into overtime, so that's all right. But it was
Yeah.
pressure. The pressure was on to try and open before previews, and there was so many things that could go wrong. Just so many little changes, so many little things that we just want people to be safe, basically, when we do all these big set
Yeah.
moves and things like that.
Did you find it all worth it in the end?
Mm.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It was a mad experience, especially seeing the first time the car actually flew without anybody in it, like in the theatre,
Yeah.
first hand on. I was like, what the hell is going on? It was mad. I was just watching from the balcony, and I just like slipped in. And I was like, this is another level.
Insane. It's crazy. I
Yeah.
like genuinely, my reaction when I saw the car practically flying, I think my mouth was on the floor. Like, I didn't understand it, especially because you couldn't see the parts where they were actually holding it.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
think
what do you
that's,
mean? Like inside the car?
yeah,
Yeah.
like the straps and the buckles. Like, yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
To
Very,
me,
very cool.
sorry, to me the car coming at the end didn't surprise me, because what I do is I just research everything before.
Nathan, you
I'm like,
ruined
no,
it.
yeah, I know, but like I just like to like know what like the show's about. So I'm
You
just
should
on
do it
TikTok.
after.
I just search Back to the Future, and then boom, a
Oh,
car comes up. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh,
oh
this is
my
cool. I'm gonna
days.
watch this.
That's like the worst
Um,
thing to do. You should do it afterwards. My mum says like you should research on Google if like you should know what the musical's about, but like obviously research on Google just to get an understanding of the like plot line, and then afterwards, after you've watched it, you go and like have a look into stuff how they've been done. Wait,
Mm,
did that make sense?
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it
I
did.
think so. I think so. Okay. How do you find audiences' reactions differ when those big movie moments happen on stage?
I think depending on the type of crowd we have, I'm going to say something quite I don't know, controversial here.
Okay.
So I prefer the audiences in Manchester. I feel like the London audiences can be a bit more, I don't want to say it, but the word uptight in their reactions.
Are they like
Whereas
over?
the people in Manchester, they're just more relaxed and they're chilled. Maybe they've had a
Yeah.
few drinks, I don't know. So they're a bit looser, and like their reactions are really just big and loud, and it's hilarious, and it's just so funny. We had a couple of moments where we had get heckling in certain moments, what like when Biff like it is trying to like get between George and Lorraine, or when George and Lorraine have their first kiss, they're like, oh, go on. It's hilarious. Like, and you're just like nearly cracking up on stage because it's just so funny. But no, I think the London audiences are kind of a bit more reserved, and that's great. But I feel like it varies during the week as well. Obviously, the weekend crowd is going to be a bit more excited, and we get quite a few like die-hard fans from when the movie first came out. So a lot of like middle-aged men who it's literally like they don't come to theatre, and they have come to theatre for this, and seeing one of their favorite childhood movies on stage is like mind-blowing for them. They're just like, what the hell is going on? So yeah, no, that's incredible to see, especially when they come in the merch, and they're wearing the tops and stuff, and you're
Yeah.
like, it's like you hate theatre, but you've got the merch shop.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm here for it. It's opened up doors for so many people who wouldn't necessarily come to theatre.
It's such a lovely like experience though, because the fact that they've been able to turn these revolutionary films into musicals is just so I can't phrase it, but you have to like yeah.
You've been in some really different shows, from the pop party of Mamma Mia to the fantasy energy of Back to the Future, and something totally unique like Starlight Express.
Do you enjoy switching between a different style, or do you have a preferred one?
I don't. I love the variety. I think obviously because I'm a swing normally, I enjoy having that big pot to draw from, and having just so many different things that I can do. I'm not saying I get bored easily. It's just that I like to be challenged. And I like to have that difference. And I think, especially with Back to the Future, you're very spoiled in all the different styles of dance that are in that, because you're going through different eras. Like you've got 50s, you've got current, you've got 80s, and you kind of follow that kind of style. And especially with Future Boy, you've got kind of like a show kind of vibe in there as well. Learning to skate, that was a whole different experience. That was like being broken and reworked back together again as a human. You kind of lost everything and every identity as like a performer that you ever thought you had, and you just kind of had to start from the scratch again. It was just mad. But then when you're in the show and you have done it for a while, it's like nothing else. Being able to skate that fast and just feeling like the wind go past your face, there's no other feeling like it. So that was just mad. And Miami is just like a die-hard kind of like show. There's not a lot of dancing in it. It's just fun. But it was the first time I'd ever kind of like covered a lead. So that was incredible.
That's the thing that like keeps you on your toes, to be fair, because obviously doing all of the same stuff can get really repetitive. It can get boring very, very quickly, especially because you're doing it so many times during the week. So I think having that switch up and trying different styles is just an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, but it's I love it. I think if it was a harder show, I might not necessarily enjoy it as much. But the ones that I've done, it's been the best experience ever, because you get to dance with everybody in the show. You know, you're not just stuck with the same people all the time. Not that that's a bad thing, but for me, it was just great because I got to work with everybody equally.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it keeps things exciting, have a bit of variety, not just the same role and like just every time.
Definitely. I'm just like looking at my phone being like, oh, who am I going to be today?
Yeah.
Wait, do you get told just before you go on stage, or how in advance do they tell you?
It varies, but there's usually a cut-off every day. And I'd say before an afternoon show, you'd know about 12:30. And before an evening show, you'd know about 5:30. But I've known 10 minutes before the curtain up before that I was going on for a brand new boy track that I'd never done before. So that was really fun. And I've gone on mid-show multiple times for certain tracks as well. One track that I'd never even done before. That was really fun. you just got to prep like crazy. And you just got to take all the gaps in the show whenever you're off stage, just to kind of like keep looking at stuff. Yeah.
Wow. That's so impressive. How do you like? My brain just doesn't. I could never remember that much stuff.
Well, I think it's impossible to remember that many things unless you've done it quite a few times. I think you've got to learn the structure of it, and you know, cheat sheets work and things like that, but being able to pick things up really fast and be adaptable and remind yourself, okay, here just before you go on stage, and like be just really calm in the moment and just not let things get to you. Like, I love working under that pressure. I find it that's how I work, like really, really well. I love it.
Yes. You've worked on some iconic shows. What would you say to young performers who dream of being in the West End one day?
Oh, keep at it. And just try and see as many things and expose yourself to as many things as possible. Because the industry's forever changing, and so quickly as well, that your training becomes kind of not obsolete, but it becomes old-fashioned really quickly. So you need to do things outside of your professional training or your training outside of work to be able to keep up to date with the current trends and things like that, because you don't know what the next thing that they're going to need in a musical is going to be. Say if you have like a certain skill or a type of dance or something that you need. And I feel like musical theatre is ridiculously diverse, that if you have a certain skill, you might just be the right person to be able to do a certain role, and it would get given to you because of that niche. So yeah, I think and the exposure to different things is just incredible, because then you can work out what kind of person or an actor and actress you are, and find your place within the industry like that way, and know what your identity is and work really hard at that.
Absolutely.
So what's something you've learned from working in the industry that you wish you'd known at the start?
Oh, you can't please everybody. And that even if you did the greatest job, it might not necessarily be your time, or you're not necessarily going to be the right person for the job because of external factors that aren't under your control, and you just have to be okay with that.
Yeah, I think the main part of it is that you need to be accepting, because in their mind they're looking for the exact people, and they have someone ideal in mind. So you just need to accept the fact that it might just not be your moment.
But it's also that they could really love you and really, really want you, but because of the puzzle that they've got to put together, with covers and things like that, you might not end up fitting into that final picture because of the fact that they're trying to like pull people together from different things. When I tell you it's a puzzle, it's a massive puzzle, and you have to have certain people who can cover certain things, and then if you don't quite fit, or you don't quite do this, like, or you're the wrong height for the guy that they've cast before for this thing, and you're going to be too you know what I mean, like, it doesn't it's
There's
something
a lot
out
that
of your
goes
control.
into it.
Yeah, and you don't realize the behind the scenes of it. It can also be down to that first person said no to their contract because they've got XYZ project coming up now, so then you might get given it, but then the other person won't because they said no, and it's just so many jigsaw pieces, and
complicated.
Yes, very, very, very complex, and there's no point in trying to work out why, because the reason you didn't get it that time might be the reason you do get it the next.
Yeah, and lots of us just automatically think, oh, it's because, I don't know, I'm a bad actor or something. But it's like you said, there's like a big puzzle they need to put together of like many different things that like we don't know that's happening.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, before we finish, we've got our favourite bit, the quick fire round. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Favourite show you've ever been a part of?
Back to the Future, but I really loved the Christmas show I did at Universal Studios Japan, and I love it. Like, you'll probably find it on YouTube. I did Gift of the Angels, and it was the part 3 version, so we had like fireworks, and it's like a 3-story stage with projection mapping, and it's just really magical. I love doing Christmas shows.
Okay, I'll find that after.
Dream show you'd love to do next?
Ooh. You know what? Maybe Beetlejuice. I'm definitely not going to do it because they've already cast it, probably, but that would be incredible.
Definitely. Song you still catch yourself humming from Mamma Mia?
Lay All Your Love on Me.
Character from Back to the Future you'd love to play for another night?
It's not one that I've played, but I think it would be hilarious to be Doc Martin.
Oh, definitely. Most unforgettable onstage moment?
Ooh. I'd say the very opening night of Back to the Future, the musical, in Manchester, and hearing the audience reaction for the first ever time, because we had super fans of like the movie come from all over the world to be there for the first ever night it got. And I'm not saying the gala night, I'm saying the first ever night. So they got to see a version of the show that has never been seen again, because whole numbers got cut after that night because the show was too long. So that like Biff had a whole song and that got cut, and like so many things happened. But no, they saw that was mad. The applause, I think we had like a 6-minute long applause for Doc's first entrance. We were very late coming down that day.
Wow, that must have been magical though.
Oh, incredible. Nothing like it.
Okay, best piece of advice you've been given?
Ooh. Train outside your craft, in that I cross train. I'm a Pilates instructor as well, but I train in the gym as well, and I make sure that I've got good fitness so that whenever I do my dancing in my shows, it feels easy. So train like a Cirque du Soleil kind of performer, where they train like they train more than what's in their show. Does that make sense? So that the what's in their show becomes easy to them, and don't like lose that, because it's really easy to get complacent.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that is the end of today's episode.
Amy, thank you so much for chatting with us. It was such an enjoyable conversation.
Yeah, hearing about all those thrilling West End shows and what goes on behind the scenes was absolutely brilliant.
And thank you so much for having me on, guys. It's been awesome.
It's been amazing.
Thank you. To our listeners, thanks for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and your favorite podcast streaming platform.
Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.